Welcome back to the Action Jack-0ffs podcast. This is the show where we talk about the very best and favorite action movies of all time. And this week we're going to be talking about Ip Man from 2008, starring Donnie Yen. So I just want to go ahead and say, we had a pretty good break in between this movie and the last movie we did. So I kind of feel like I feel fresh. You know what I mean?
Fresh. He's ready to be here. We're back, baby.
Yeah, like we never left. It's awesome.
We never did.
No, no, not really. I mean, we were here. We were just chilling, having fun.
Doing other stuff.
Yeah. So this is a movie. This is probably one of my top 20 favorite movies. Which, and for those of you that don't know, Ip Man was a really popular movie in Hong Kong. It was really popular in the States. It's really interesting to me that this movie, as long as I've known this movie has been streamable in some form or fashion, and it's almost always free on YouTube, which is where I watched it for this rewatch.
Had it on Amazon, baby.
Yeah, so it was on Amazon. I think it's on Netflix. I think it's pretty much everywhere. Like this is one of the most widely available movies I think I've ever seen.
And it's the first time I've ever seen it.
I know, isn't that hilarious?
It's been available to me all this time, and I have a surprise for you, Garrett.
What's that?
I loved it.
Yeah,
It's one of the first martial arts movies where I was like, hands down, this is awesome. This is a perfect movie.
it's amazing, isn't it? Let's
The
talk.
only part that kind of lost me is whenever he first gets to the mine. I was like, this is not where I thought this movie was
Oh,
going.
like how it transitions from him being like a hometown hero to now he's poor in the slums and he has to go like huff it in
Yeah.
the mines.
It was just I think it was just because I was so jarred and like I wasn't like I was like, okay, so now like another group is gonna come and try to mess with him and this one's gonna be worse. And I was like, oh no, World War II's coming for him.
War is
I
hell.
was it really I think it was just because I was like, I don't know if I like this or I don't know where this is going that I was like I kind of lost me for a little bit, but I was back once he started
Yeah.
fighting people for rice.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and just briefly say, for those of you that don't know, It Man is a movie about a guy. It's I think it's our first biopic we've done, uh, or biopic as people like to correct me. Um,
I, both work.
Both work for
You telling
me.
me Avatar is a biopic?
No, no, I think this is the first biopic we've done where it's obviously got a lot of like dramatization in it, but it is based on a real person's life. And it's based on the real life Ip Man, who was famously the trainer of Bruce Lee. He was the teacher of Bruce Lee before Bruce Lee immigrated to America. And yeah, I mean, obviously the movie takes a lot of liberties. It is influenced by elements of his life, but in actuality, a lot of the stuff didn't happen. So we're not going to go into a lot of the differences between real life and this movie. We're just going to try and focus on this movie. Um, but yeah, so that's basically where we're at with that. I think the only big thing is that, let's see here. I wanted to see what there was. Um, like for instance, the movie never mentions that at one point Ip Man was a police officer. Um, they don't mention that in like 1917 he moved to Hong Kong. And yeah, that's kind of like the gist of it. Like like a lot of it is like he never fought the Japanese. He never fought in World War II in any capacity, and he was never shot. He's never been shot in his whole life.
Hey, can you stop ruining for me? Let's just talk about this motion picture that was enthralling.
Okay.
You're so hardcore here, man. I don't care about the real life man. Much respect, whatever.
Yeah.
We're we're talking about this fucking a fucking just a class act.
Oh, dude. So
Just a,
I love this movie because
dude,
mostly
what a
because of Donnie Yen's.
swagaholic.
Yeah, mostly because of Donnie Yen's portrayal
What
of
a
Ip Man.
smile.
Oh, I know. And I love his
Dude,
demeanor.
dude, I just every time that like somebody's talking mad shit to him and he just hits him with the big old fucking toothies.
Yeah.
Oh, it just made me smile the whole time. I was like, ah, I see why Garrett likes this.
Well, he has a perfect introduction, I think. He's in the movie. He's introduced because this kung fu master comes to him and tries to challenge him for, I guess, a good reputation for his school that he just opened. And Ip Man just,
I
takes the
feeling himself.
he takes the challenge, but meanwhile, we see what a nice guy he is. He's like, "Hey, why don't you come join us for dinner?" They're
Oh my
smoking
God.
cigarettes, drinking
I
tea.
was I was sitting there watching it, and he was sitting all by himself, and they were eating dinner. He's like, "I'll just wait. I'll finish dinner," or he's like, "I'll wait for you to finish dinner." And then he goes and sits by himself, and I was like, "God, I wish he would just invite him over." And then in the next like 10 seconds, they're like all eating as a family, and the wife is scowling the whole time. And I was like, "This is." I think I might be in love with this movie.
Yeah. So that leads me to okay, so that leads to one of my favorite things in the movie is in that same scene, that same opening scene where uh his wife is kind of like leaving the room and she hates like the fighting and stuff. She's like, she hates that shit. But like it's all Ip Man does is fight. And
You're killing my passion, babe.
yeah, and I love how he looks at her and he says it won't take long.
Uh-huh.
It's not
Just
he doesn't say it like a cocky way. He just says he's someone that's so hyper aware of how good he is that he's just like, don't worry, babe. It's not gonna be that long. Like he's
it's all
it's
gonna be
so
friend.
good.
I'm gonna pop him on the nose.
Yeah. I also love in that same fight scene. So like gets that leads into some of the fight scene, but in that fight scene, I know I'm a little all over the place, but I'm so excited. Uh,
No, he's so happy.
I'm so
Just go
happy
on.
that we're talking
I'll
about
let
this.
you talk for a while. You just
Uh,
talk for a
well,
while.
I'll just briefly reference that fight scene that he has with the kung fu master Liu, and they're sparring. The whole thing is just like them sparring. So I noticed that when Ip Man fights him, he's not actually hitting him. Like he's not full blown punching him or kicking him. He's just like tapping him, or he'll be like, "That was a hit. That was a hit. That was a hit," or he'll like feign like he's swinging an elbow at him and just barely misses him, or just stops before he hits him. And it's so cool because the guy is like, after the fight, the guy's just like embarrassed that he got whooped so bad, but he's just like, you know, please don't tell anybody
It's
about
like
this. Yeah, and Ip Man's like, he always has something cool to say that makes him like such a genuine like person where he's just like, thanks for going easy on me.
I love that when he picks him up. He's like, "Thanks for going easy on me, Master Lou." And I was like, "This is a class act.
What a class
This guy,
act. Love it.
this is a class act."
So I'll calm down. I'll turn the floor over to you. What were some of your favorite
That's
scenes in the
fine. No,
movie?
you're nerding out. It's okay, buddy. I see you. You're seeing today. I saw this and I was like, yeah, it makes sense why Garrett likes this so
I'm
much. I
so
see why
obsessed.
he's why he talks about it. It's one of the first times where I could like see why, like I could literally like see you watching it and being like, ah, Garrett loves this shit, doesn't he? Like all like Demolition Man and some of the other ones, I'm always like, God, he just loves the dumbest shit.
His taste is terrible.
And his taste is blood. He won't even play The Last of Us. I've been hounding him forever now.
Wow, just put me on
But
blast.
yeah, in the comment section, tell him. Anyway, so back to Ip Man. Uh, so I have, well, first of all, I like this movie a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and say one of the most glaring problems I have with this movie. The
Okay.
one thing that really grinds my gears, scratches, puts a pea under my pillow.
Okay.
So he fights the room the the room full of Japanese soldiers or karate masters or whatever, the guys in the
The
white
the
gi.
the famous scene where he fights 10 men.
Yes.
Yes.
This scene is incredible.
Yes.
Breathtaking.
Yes.
At the end, they throw him like 10 bags of clean rice.
Yeah.
I get that it's metaphorical, but why the fuck does he take the bloody rice to the family?
Because that was the rice of, so that's Master Lu's family.
Oh, no, no, no. I get the symbolism of all of it.
Like I
Why
don't
take
know
the clean bags?
I don't know why he picked I know here's the thing. I know why he picked up the bloody bag and took it to the family,
Uh,
but I see what you're
I get
saying.
all
The question is why
it
didn't he
makes
also take the
sense.
other clean bags?
Yeah, like why would you not also give all of those bags to the family or to other families?
Unanswerable
It's
questions.
like it's just one of those things that I was like, I get that you're doing it to say fuck you. I get that there's the symbolism of like that was his bag and his family deserves that, but it's a fucking bloody bag of rice, dude.
Yeah. So like it's I guess it's supposed to be like the equivalent of him bringing the body because I guess
Uh-huh.
they don't get the body back.
Yeah.
But
It's all the it's symbolicness, but
to
like those 10
to
other bags of rice,
they were clean, yeah. They
they're
could have been
fine,
used.
perfect,
They went a
perfectly
little
good
to
rice.
waste, yeah.
So I really did just find myself smiling so much during this movie. Like all of the little different interactions, the group of northern Chinese guys that come with kung fu and stuff.
Yeah, Jin and his gang.
Yeah, Master Jin and his gang of people really enjoy them.
Yeah.
I thought the sweatshop fight was really funny when he comes back into the story and and all of these other people know like the stances and stuff.
Yes. Yes.
And they're like punching like 12-year-old girls in the face, and they're like, "Oh, that's not good enough." I also the one scene I had seen because it came up on some compilation or some fight thing that I was watching is whenever he fights Jin the first time with the feather duster thing.
Oh yeah.
So when they're fighting the whole time, I was like, God, this looks super familiar. I might have seen this before. And then he starts whipping him with the feather duster and spanking him and stuff. I was like, oh, I have seen this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's
it's definitely up there as
hilarious.
like one of the most famous. It's probably Donnie Yen's biggest movie that he's done in Hong Kong. Um, it's like because it's like a
Just
whole
a class.
it's a whole franchise.
Yeah, classy. Just a class act.
Yeah, and he does a good job throughout all the movies playing this character. But I love his character a
Ask
lot in
if it
this movie.
so it is him the whole time in every subsequent sequel.
Yes, so there's three sequels: Ip Man 2, 3, 4, the final chapter, and then there's a spin-off called Ip Man Master Z, which follows a character that was prominent in Ip Man 3. So
Interesting.
Donnie Yen's not in that one because it's a spinoff, but it's basically like Ballerina for the John Wick universe.
Go ahead and cross that one off the list.
Yeah. um. So yeah, I just thought that was really fascinating. I'll say, but it's a great
Very,
franchise. I've seen all the movies. I love them all. The first
I bet you
one,
fucking
yeah,
I bet you have.
I have, and a lot of them are free too. Like Ip Man 2 is free on YouTube as well.
Interesting, interesting. And
Yeah.
what's the story of Hitman 2? Just a little synopsis. Don't tell me too much.
Just a little synopsis is it's now 1950 and Ip Man and his family have moved from Foshan to Hong Kong, and Ip Man is trying to open up his own martial arts school.
And this is where Bruce Lee comes into the mix.
No, not quite. I mean, yes, but no. Here's the thing about all the movies is that I think until number 4, Bruce Lee doesn't actually play a role in the movies.
Interesting.
It's all about just like Ip Man.
That's fine. I
Yeah.
was just curious.
Yeah.
Um, very great staging. This also didn't have some of the really choppy, blocky editing that you see a lot
Y-
with martial arts films. Like it really shows you exactly what's happening.
Yeah, the editing's great. Yeah, the
Yeah.
choreography was done by Sammo Hung, who we've talked about before is like a really big deal in martial arts movies. He was a close friend of Jackie Chan. Worked with Jackie Chan a lot, and he's basically worked on all of the martial arts movies we've covered on this channel. He has worked on all of them in some form or fashion, and
It's just the way it should be, you know?
he did the choreography for this movie, and he also stars in Ip Man 2.
Back when people used to make things in their country.
Exactly, and yeah,
Uh,
this is some of his tightest choreography, and Donnie Yen actually spent time learning Wing Chun. Like I think he spent close to like what was it, like 8 years? It was either 8 years or 8 months doing
very different.
very different, very different. Yes, uh, but he learned. It was probably 8 months. I'll say that because he learned Wing Chun from Ip Man's real son, Ip Chun.
Oh,
Yeah.
love to see it.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. And it's one of those things where this is another one of those movies that was meant to be made way earlier than it was. Like they would have had and it would have looked completely different than what it ended up looking like. Now, it was supposed to be a biopic that would have come out in the 90s, and it would have had Donnie Yen still play Ip Man. But fun twist, Stephen Chow would have played an adult Bruce Lee in the movie.
Interesting.
And if you remember Stephen Chow, we covered Kung Fu Hustle, was the director and star of Kung Fu Hustle.
Now that would have been a little crossing the streams.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting how it didn't quite work out. So yeah, I just found it really fascinating that it almost came about in that way. And there's also like some controversy where there was somebody else who was making an Ip Man movie around the same time, and it was called Ip Man: The Grandmaster, and this movie was going to be called Ip Man or just The Grandmaster. It was just like, but then this movie came out first and like was really cool and everybody loved it, and then that other movie came out and everybody hated it. It's just funny how it all kind of came about.
A classic White House Down versus Olympus Has Fallen.
Yes, yes, very much so.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, but yeah, um, really, really funny stuff. Love this movie for various reasons. The fighting is one of them. I always remember. I think the movie takes like a significant turning point in terms of seriousness. Like the tone shifts dramatically in the movie, which we already briefly mentioned. But the movie goes from being like this very localized story about a guy just protecting people in his hometown or just kind of like fighting when people challenge him and stuff like that to the Japanese are now occupying China and killing people on the streets, and everybody's starving of to death, dying of hunger and whatnot. And it's kind of creating this like parallel of, or it's just an interesting dichotomy where we had fun, happy go lucky times where the biggest thing we had to worry about was some big dick, martial arts master coming into town, fucking shit up, to now we've got General Mura fucking killing people or getting people killed,
What
just kicking ass. So
what
when
a hard.
yeah, what a hard ass. And when it shifts to I think once you get to like the hour mark, there's like a significant shift in Ip Man's character as well. Because and I think that coincides with his fight with the 10 black belts.
Because he went dark.
He went dark. And it's also this moment where you kind of say to yourself, this guy is like uber badass.
He's been holding back this whole time.
Yeah. He took off the weighted clothes.
I was just about to say he took off the weighted clothing.
He does do this
This is
thing.
all. It feels like very Goku coded also because he's like eating all the time.
Yeah. Or he does this thing. He actually does do a thing with his clothes where he rolls up his
When
sleeves.
it's
Did you
rolling
notice
up
that?
his sleeve.
Yeah, like
Yes, I did.
he rolls up his
The
sleeves
more
whenever like some
serious,
shit
the more
gets serious. And yeah, I always equate Ip Man to Superman because he's basically like this unstoppable force, but the way in which people fight him or can defeat him is through attacking him through some other means. You know what I mean? Like he's clearly much stronger than the Japanese soldiers and the Japanese general and all that stuff, but they attack him the way he gets hurt in his patriotism, in the pride in his country. You know what I mean? I might be looking too deep
You know,
into it, but that's how
it was
I
just
take it.
funny. I definitely know what you mean, and I agree. It was just funny watching you like sound it out.
Trying so hard to articulate this.
It was just I was just like, "Where's he going?" But now
Yeah.
you landed the plane.
I thank you. I got us there eventually. I started one place and I ended up in a completely different place.
Kryptonite.
Um, but it's true because
Kryptonite is his patron.
yes, yes. But it's true because there's that moment where after he beats the 10 black belts, the general goes, what's your name? And Ip Man just
Just
responds
a
with,
tiny man.
I'm just a Chinese man. So I just I find all that very fascinating, like how he goes about the way he goes about things. And another one of my favorite scenes is whenever they're trying to find him so that they can bring him back to the dojo or whatever, the tournament floor. And I forgot his name. He's like the Sato. He's like the general's right hand man, the guy with the glasses. And he goes and he finds Ip Man's house, and he's like fake shooting his son with a real gun, and just
That
like
was so weird.
I was like, holy shit. And then like two other soldiers are there, so it's three guys. And then as soon as Sato sees Ip Man's wife, he like tries to go up the stairs to greet her, and Ip Man just fucking snaps and just fucks that dude up, fucks all three of them up in like an instant.
It's so good.
So great.
I also highlight whenever the big debacle over whenever the younger brother starts like spreading the rumor around town that Master Lu got his ass kicked by Ip Man.
Yeah.
There's the scene when the police officer comes in and he points the gun at Ip Man, and I just love that he finger fucks the goddamn revolver
Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah.
The whole entire cylinder comes out with all the bullets. I was like, no. I was like, okay. I've seen a lot of movies where somebody martial arts disarms somebody with a gun. How is he going to get away with it this time? He puts his finger behind his finger in the trigger or whatever, so it can't go backwards.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, pretty cool. I haven't seen that often. I've seen that with like somebody puts something else. I haven't seen them put their finger before. And then he just fucking pop.
Pops out of place.
It's so great. I was so happy. I was like, this is just Garrett. Garrett's just crying right now with this
Oh yeah.
enjoyment.
It's very coded to what I like. I just
Uh-huh.
I think
I was like,
I'm obsessed with seeing characters just be badasses nonchalantly.
just be cool, just
Yeah.
be swaggy.
Yeah. And
You just were a big fan of Joe Cool growing up, huh?
Joe Cool. Are you making
Oh,
a
it's Snoop. It's Snoopy's alter ego.
okay. I was about to say, are you making a joke and I'm just not getting it?
You are.
As to
I am.
as per the norm.
You never watched Charlie Brown?
I saw Charlie Brown Christmas, I think.
Uncultured swine. Let's
Yeah.
continue.
So says the guy that likes Hong Kong movies and other obscure
You
things.
going? Uh-huh.
But you know, it is what it
Go on. Go on.
is. So
Go,
let's.
how cool.
So who do you think wins this movie?
It's definitely just it, man. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think there's not really a case you can make for anybody
There's not
else.
room for anyone else.
Who?
I said there's not even room for anybody else. I mean, you could say maybe Jin for being like an interesting secondary villain, kinda.
Right.
Uh, Master Lu, but he dies way too early.
Yeah.
It's
And
like it's like one of the more impactful scenes.
maybe the general
Nah,
as like an antagonist. I don't know.
he's a good antagonist, but it's not really. He doesn't steal the show necessarily. He's not. It's not Heath Ledger's Joker or anything. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. Funny this movie came out like the same year. So we had
That's
something
why
to
I was
compare
trying to
it
think.
to.
I was trying to think of something around that time, and I was like, "Well, there's the obvious choice."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you
I mean,
could.
Baby Blood is around the same time, I think.
Yeah. Ooh, excuse me.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
I drink it up. I
I
saw that.
drink it up.
I saw that movie for the first time last year.
Yeah, you like it? It's
No,
real weird.
it's pretty good.
I like how the first like 40 minutes are just a silent film of him having a broken back.
What? You,
Whenever he like falls into
oh,
he
you
falls
said
into the
40 minutes.
breaks his back.
I was like, that's like 4 minutes.
Yeah, it feels long.
We're talking about There Will
It
Be
might,
Blood, by the way.
it might be a while since I've seen it, but I thought it was like 3 hours in like the first while he's just crawling.
That's how that would actually be. If that was what the movie was, that would be funny.
That would be funny. That's just how my memory is. Anyways, it man.
So, what do you
Great,
think
great.
about? What do you think about? So this is obviously this is based on Ip Man's real life. Ip Man was the first person to publicly teach the martial art of Wing Chun. What do you think of? And obviously Donnie Yen learned Wing Chun, and it is the main martial art he uses throughout the entirety of the movie. What do you think of Wing Chun as a martial art form?
It's interesting. I would need to have it broken down more to like fully understand it. They do like some parts of it in the movie, but it just like anytime I've ever seen traditional martial arts versus like MMA and stuff, it doesn't always hold up.
Right.
So I'd be interested to see like what its strengths and weaknesses and everything are because like you can do kickboxing to like most anything and it shuts all like traditional martial arts down for the most part. But if somebody is also practicing Wing Chun or Kung Fu, it'd be interesting. I'd have to dive more into it.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. The second movie goes into it a little bit more. And then of course, like if you just do your own research on the side, you'll kind of get some more of it. But one of the things about the martial art form is in general is that it's supposed to be attack and defense at the same
At the
time.
same time.
Yeah, so like if somebody goes to punch you, you are both blocking the punch and punching back at the same time. It's kind of what it's supposed to be. And your stance is very narrow. So like you don't have like a wide stance because the idea is that your limbs need to be in close in order to block and attack things. So like if someone goes to kick you and they're kicking at your legs, you're blocking with that foot and then you're also kicking with the same foot. Like it's like a block and immediately into a kick. It's kind of one of those martial arts where it's designed to be like up close in your face and it relies on a lot of unlike other martial arts, it's very um it's characterized by low kicks. The kicks aren't very high. Then you'll never see a Wing Chun practitioner go for a high kick. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And whenever they're punching, It's very fascinating because whenever you see a traditional punch, like if you're looking at something like boxing, when someone goes to do a punch, they're kind of putting their whole body into it from their feet up. In Wing Chun, you're not really putting your you're not putting your feet into it. You know what I mean? Whenever you're doing Wing Chun, it's this motion of just kind of, I don't know how to explain it. You know how like when kids pretend to be a train, and so they do that thing with their arms where they're like chugga 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 chugga. You know what I mean? That's kind of what they're doing whenever they punch in Wing Chun.
You're not you're not landing this one, buddy.
You don't think so?
I was letting you get there, but you're not doing it.
Okay, I was hoping that visual would hit you and that you'd be able
No,
to like know what I'm talking about. But um,
no.
it's
You got to be like
there's no punch, there's no cocking a punch in Wing Chun.
yeah.
It's punch from the stance, and there's no rearing a punch back for another punch or coming up to your chin to protect your face like in boxing. It's the punch is in its stance, it comes from the stance, it immediately returns to the stance, or it cycles through, and that way and so like, you know how like Ip Man in the movie, he's doing like those rapid fire punches where it's like like that's kind of like the gist of how they punch in Wing Chun. It's supposed to be like a like block three punches all in a row. It's a very interesting classic martial art. It's also obviously the basis for Jeet Kune Do, which was Bruce Lee's martial art that he came up with. And then
I love it.
Jeet Kune Do kind of evolves into modern MMA.
I love it. I love the history of it all. I love seeing traditional martial arts. I'd be interested in it.
Yeah, but it is kind of fascinating whenever you think about, like, you ever see those videos where they're like Wing Chun versus MMA
Yeah, yeah, that's
fighter or Muay Thai
that's
fighter?
why uh-huh. That's what I was kind of referencing when I was like, you've in every instance I've ever seen, most like if you use like Greco-Roman wrestling, shuts down almost every traditional striking martial art.
Yes,
If you use just Muay Thai, it shuts down almost every traditional striking martial art.
just
If you
about.
use MMA, if you use a combination of all mixed martial arts versus any one particular traditional like style, you're almost certainly going to win. It's
Yes.
just one of those weird, it's just like it's like one of those things where it's like you kind of got to use it all.
Yeah, I mean, fighting in general has kind of evolved past the point of one particular martial art style. Like, if I'm a wrestler and I'm going up against somebody who is a kickboxer and I try to shoot in on them and they fucking knee me in the face, then the fight's pretty much over.
Mhm.
Or
You
if,
got to
go ahead.
striking and then go for a takedown.
Yeah, you gotta do feints, all that stuff. Like if I'm fighting a boxer, like just a regular boxer who does nothing but box in their free time, and I go up to them and I go in for a double leg takedown and blast them into oblivion, there's nothing they can't do anything from their back.
Or even when we've seen boxing versus kickboxing, one leg kick changes everything.
Yeah. And so,
They're not.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just like if you're not conditioned for leg kicks, if you're not used to wrestling, if you're not used to any of these type of things, fighting is way past all this.
Yeah, so it calls into question like the practicality of not necessarily Wing Chun specifically, because I think the whole ancient martial arts up against any modern martial arts practitioners is kind of like a debate. Like whenever someone's like, "Oh, Shaolin monk versus MMA fighter," like I think it applies to pretty much every classic martial art, except for something like karate. I think karate still has a place in modern martial arts for the most part. It's basic because modern karate is basically just kickboxing at this point with some judo thrown in.
And different stylistic like stance and kicks and certain dynamics of it, but
Yeah.
very much. Have you seen the bowl karate fighting?
Yeah, Karate Combat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so good. It's so sick.
it's pretty awesome. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, you're right. You've got like the Dutch. I was gonna say Dutch kickboxing, but I'm trying to say karate here because there's different types of karate, like you were mentioning. Um, but yeah, I mean, I bring up karate just because karate is what is used in the movie again with General Mira against Ip Man. Um, so I bring up something like karate because of that, but also because it is like one of the last classic martial arts that I think can still be applied to regular, not necessarily street fighting, but like fighting in general. I want to say
Combat sports.
combat sports, yeah, combat sports in general. I would never. If like here's the thing, if I was studying martial arts, I'd study a little bit of Wing Chun just to like see what it was like, just because I think it's more about the philosophies of the art
Yeah,
form.
of course. There's always a little bit of knowledge you can get from anywhere.
Like the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, which is supposed to be a really good book. Just like the philosophy of Bruce Lee. A lot of it he got from Ip Man, and just thinking about stuff like that. I would think it's really fascinating and really something I would be interested in reading about. Or just watching a video on it, just something, these movies have been such a gateway to Eastern culture and just like all the cool things that they have to offer. And It Man really was like the source for me because I grew up watching this movie, and I actually first saw this movie. My dad actually put this movie on, which my dad doesn't really watch a lot of martial arts movies. He watches a lot of action movies, but he never really got into martial arts movies the way I did. But one day in 2008, this was like when I was like 10 years old. He just puts on this movie because it had come out. So it must have been like '08 or '09, I want to say. And he puts this movie on and he just can't stop talking about how badass it is. Like, we're watching it together and he's just like, oh my God, dude, watch this. He would like, he had it on demand, right? So he would like fast forward and rewind things. So whenever we watched the 10 black belt scene, when Ip Man catches that one guy's foot and breaks his leg by bending it the other direction, my
Okay.
dad had to like rewind
He's like,
that.
oh
Like,
my God.
yeah, he's like having to rewind it. And my dad's a very squeamish person. He hates shit like that. So him rewinding it and rewatching it multiple times was like, holy shit, this is incredible. This is
This
amazing.
is a hard part.
This is amazing. This is crazy. And very weirdly, like I also remember him reacting to whenever the general is waiting for Ip Man at the final like battle, and he's like on his knees, and the way he gets up, he doesn't get up by putting like one foot up and then standing up. He gets up
No, I was gonna
by
bring it up, but I forgot.
by standing up on like the top of his feet. Like he just rolls up and his feet kind of like crack or something. And my dad was like, this is fucking gross. He was like, well, how did he do that? And I was like, Dad, I don't know.
Practice it. I'm gonna do it at kickboxing tomorrow.
Oh yeah, break both your fucking feet.
I'm just gonna try it. I like you can use the bag in front of you to like balance yourself. So I'm gonna try it with balancing
All right,
because there's pads everywhere.
might as well.
Yeah,
Might as well give it a
I just want to
shot.
see. I want to see if it's possible or if they use strings.
Let's. Oh, they definitely use strings in the movie.
They definitely did.
I want to say like the wire work is like whenever they use it, you're like, that's obviously wire work. But there's a lot of times where I'm like, you know what? They don't use that much. There's not that much wire work in the movie. Which I'm not
No,
against. I'm not one of those people that's against wire work. I used to be like super against wire work because I was like, if they use wire work, then it's not real, and if it's not real, then it's not martial arts, or some bullshit like that. Is how I used to like view stuff like that. But nowadays, I'm like, if they use it, it's just because it's a movie. They're using special. they're using special effects. They want to do something cool. If it was just guys punching each other in the face for an hour and a half, then it wouldn't be as cool as dudes doing a fucking quadruple backflip into a fucking spin kick and getting kicked all over the place. So I totally get it, and it's even worse in Ip Man 2. So you just kind of have to get used to
I,
it.
I just like thinking of you with this perspective, and then meanwhile you're also watching WWE.
I was around this time, yeah.
That's incredible. That's so
I
funny.
think
You're
yeah.
like, fuck these flyers.
When I
It's not
was
real martial arts.
when I was in
John
John Cena, which this is a totally aside, but you reminded me of it. John Cena did like he was at like a meet and greet or something like that, and there was one of those like punch machines. Everybody was like, John Cena, do the punch machine, do the punching bag machine. And so he hits the button, the bag comes down, and he does like one of his like WWE punches at it, where he doesn't like actually hit it. And he does it like twice. And then he turns to the audience and he goes, I haven't punched someone for real in 25 years. Peace.
That's all.
It's awesome.
He is like, I'm not breaking this money maker.
No, yeah. So yeah, it was like 08, 09. I was definitely in middle school, I think, around this time. I was either in middle school or I was going into middle school, and I was in my phase of loving WWE. So I was really all pretty much since I was a kid, I was into fighting in some form or fashion, whether it was on movies, professional wrestling, and then now as an adult, I'm really into like MMA and like UFC and stuff. MMA in general, UFC generally, just because it's the biggest platform in the world. Which
I
kind of,
started following the college wrestlers recently just so I could watch that stuff again.
oh yeah, how's that?
Oh, it's pretty cool. There's one that's like I think it's Iowa or something. It's this dude who sticks his tongue out like right before he takes somebody down a bunch.
Mm.
Like there's like numerous videos of like either he's already got somebody in a double leg and he just like kind of like sticks his tongue out and people take pictures of it. Or like he's about to shoot a double leg and he just kind of like goes Meh.
Let me ask you a question, and be honest. If you're getting into a fight with somebody, like you're in a bit of an altercation with someone, and you're like, all right, this is it, and they go square up. You square up, you get in your fighting stance, and all of a sudden they whip out the Wing Chun fighting stance on you. What are you doing?
I'm fucking I'm teeping them right in the fucking chest or stomach.
You're whooping that
And
ass, right?
they're falling on their butt. And then, depending on how fast they get up, they're getting a guillotine.
Yeah. They're getting fucked, basically. Wing Chun be damned. Oh, man.
I'll learn it if I can fight like fucking Ip Man, dude.
Oh, dude, if I could fight like It Man, I wouldn't need anything else. I would
I
need
wouldn't
nothing.
do dude, if that was learnable, just fucking just fucking fighting 10 people like that, then fucking it's the greatest thing that ever happened to the world.
Yeah. See, I always think about that scene where he fights the 10 people, and I've seen that scene so many times, and I always say to myself, like, wow, this is like one of the best scenes. Because it's totally impossible to actually fight 10 people at once. Uh,
What?
yeah, well, duh. Fuck me, right? So I always thought whenever movies do that, and for some reason they do it a lot in Donnie Yen movies, but where he fights like more than 5 people at once. But I always found it
Sing
fascinating when they do it in this movie, and I always used to think this is like one of the best movies. I still think this, but my opinion's varied a little bit. But this is one of the best movies where they actually showcase somebody fighting 10 people at once, and you actually somewhat believe it, just based on like what's happening. The way it's blocked, the way it's choreographed, you're like, okay, I could see this. But now when I just did this rewatch, I was watching it, and I think there's a little too much of people kind of waiting in the background now that I look at it. Like, did you ever notice that? I know this is your first time watching it, but and they do.
It kind of just that just is how like large 10-on-1 fights usually go in these movies, and even in like Daredevil or like Marvel movies and stuff. There's always kind of somebody like that Dark Knight Rises scene where somebody just falls down in the background
Yeah,
and
like
nobody touched them.
they do a good job. I think they do a good job of aiming the camera
It's not
where it
fun.
needs to be to have, because they keep you focused on Ip Man, who's constantly moving, who's constantly fighting somebody, that you're not really supposed to notice the people in the background that are kind of like, twiddling their thumbs, stepping side to side, getting ready to jump in. You're not really supposed to notice that. Otherwise, it takes you out of the immersion. This is the first time where I was like a little taken out of the picture, because I was like, those guys are literally just waiting their turn, when in reality they're supposed to be fighting all at the same time, which is funny because in contrast, whenever Master Lu fought the three people at the same time, he got his shit rocked because they actually blocked it like three people were attacking him at once.
Yeah.
So I just found that to be a sort of a nitpick, not anything crazy. Unanswerable question that I had was, and I tried to look this up in my research, I couldn't really find anything. How was Ip Man so rich? Like, where did Ip Man get his money from in the beginning of the movie?
He's not a businessman.
That's what's so fascinating, is this guy, his friend comes to him for money, and Ip Man is more than wealthy enough to just give him a fucking stack of cash. And then we learn that the Japanese confiscated his estate and all that stuff, so he was basically left with nothing. He was left destitute. But I just keep thinking about it. They never explain, because all they say is all Ip Man does is fight and practice fighting, and that's it. He eats, fights, practices, smokes. That's it. That's all he does in his
It's
free
just
time.
and he just somehow got a bunch of money for
And
it.
he somehow just roll. He's got servants. His wife doesn't have to work. It's crazy.
The servant is actually his uncle, if at least the subtitle said, but that could have just been like a sign of respect.
That's a sign of respect. Like,
Yeah.
you call them uncle or auntie. Is kind of like what you call people that are a little bit older than you, but they're nice to you.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just a good guy next to a servant then.
yeah. Um, any other thoughts about It Man?
No, I just had a great time. One of the first times where I was like, Garrett has a little bit of taste, this guy.
Do you see yourself watching any of the sequels?
I might start the second one, but if it's more of the schlocky kind of kung fu, I might not finish it.
Okay, that's fair.
But I
Yeah,
really like this one.
yeah. You might get to like the finale of It Man 2 and be like, this is pretty stupid. But anyway, yeah. So final thoughts on It Man. Great movie, probably the best martial arts movie we've done so far, in my opinion. Like we've done Kung Fu Hustle and we've done Police Story. Police Story had some of the best action I've ever seen. Kung Fu Hustle was really funny with some cool action. This is the first movie we've done that I think has a really good story and great action.
It's perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be it from us this week. It Man, go check it out. Highly recommended. And then we'll get into whatever we do next week. Tune in for that. This was gonna go up next day on YouTube is when this goes up. And yeah, uh, won't be long now. Won't be long now. That's gonna be it. Peace.